Well, everyone, it's Monday. Yesterday was an amazing day with Charlie Kirk's memorial. Historic. I mean, I don't think the country's ever seen anything like that. And, you know, how much it pointed people to Christ. And it was just amazing. I hope you got to see it. But it's Monday. And that means it's time to get back to work. And I don't mean just in a generic way. There's work to be done. There's work to be done right here in Clark County. There's been work for, quite a while now, and so now let's focus on what's coming ahead, and let's kind of keep Charlie and keep what we saw yesterday in mind. Because last week, Councilor Belcott presented a very restrained, simple resolution that would just denounce, condemn political violence, all political violence, and the assassination of Charlie Kirk. And there's a couple reasons for this. One is, even though some people are like, resolutions don't mean anything, they don't have any teeth. There's truth, but it matters what we say. It matters what we say. And this is saying something. This is saying that all political violence and the tragedy of Charlie Kirk's assassination is worthy to be mentioned, is worthy to be honored, and that violence is worthy to be condemned, like, without a doubt. And what we're seeing on the left is pretty significant pushback to that. And, they're doing it in a spectrum from full-on celebration to minimization, to justification, to deflection, which is a way to provide cover for what happened. I mean, maybe they don't mean it. For example, the appeals court of Washington judge, who was a Clark County prosecutor and a Cowlitz County prosecutor, now on the Court of Appeals, gave this ranting post on Facebook about how it was groupers or Christian nationalists, or Fuentes Fall, I don't know. It was wild, and it was really here's a judge, and she completely prejudges the situation. She's totally wrong on this. But it's deeper than that. I really believe that it's strategic in order to try to deflect and give cover to those that are actually responsible. Maybe not. Maybe it's just ignorance, which, again, you would think of a Court of Appeals judge, wouldn't do something like that, would see the importance of not prejudging a situation. But that's what we're having. And, 58 Democrats out of, almost 25%, in fact, over 25% of Democrats on a national level did not vote for the Charlie Kirk resolution that was passed. So it's a big deal. There's a lot of, and I saw it all, this weekend. Ever since his assassination, there's been, veiled comments. There's like, hey, I'm not sorry. There's, he deserved it. He was a terrible person, so I'm not upset about this, which is really dehumanizing, and it's providing cover, and it's sending signals to other people that might have malicious intent. Hey, no problem. We got your back. We'll cover for you. We'll provide. We'll tampen down any kind of responsibility and things like that. So it's a serious deal. So this resolution before the county council now has been, they basically rejected the 4 counselors, going back to last week. The 4 counselors didn't want to support it as is and decided they wanted to add, for example, a school shooting. Can you please tell me what a school shooting has to do with political violence? They wanted to add the Minnesota representative that was murdered, and but there's evidence, it's still kind of playing out, but there's strong evidence that shows that this was more to do with mental health than political ideology. There, some political ideology was there, but most likely it's more of a mental health situation. So and by the way, Mr. Fuentes, who suggested, adding the Hortman murder, why didn't you do this 2 or 3 months ago when it happened? Why did you wait till now? Why didn't you propose a resolution that condemned political violence after that? You didn't. And for some reason, now that Charlie Kirk's assassinated, and you know that you can't completely get away with scrubbing Charlie Kirk or denying it altogether, you look to dilute it. You look to water it down so that the resolution is so broad that it's almost meaningless. That's what they look to do. So they've stripped out that he was a religious leader. So in the original, it said that he was a political and religious leader. If you watched yesterday, you saw how that was very much the case. The new resolution takes that out. It strips down some of the Bill of Rights language, so that kind of minimizes that point of it. It includes some DEI language of inclusivity, which if you knew Charlie, you would have a problem with. Like, I don't think that's unintentional. I think that was very intentional. They look to push it out to October 21st, which I think is a significant delay. I think there's a couple other things that I noticed in it, but those were the big things. So I just wanted to inform you that this is important. It's Monday. It's time to get to work. And it's time to get back into the fight. And so I want to encourage you to come out Wednesday, 1 o'clock. This is where the resolution will be should be hashed out before it's decided on being presented or not as an official resolution. So you need to come. You need to come. If you love Charlie, if you love what he did, if you want to take a firm stance against this hatred that is justifying, minimizing, even celebrating his assassination, you need to come out Wednesday. If you can't, you can call in. Don't just email a comment, because those are not as powerful. You can call in. You can use the web link and do it from your computer. You can make a phone call in, be put on hold, and call in, or better yet, show up 1 o'clock at Wednesday, this Wednesday, the 24th, at the Clark County Public Service Building, 6th floor. So I hope to see you there. It's time to roll up our sleeves and let these counselors know that we're not going to let them do this. We're not going to let them water this down so that they can send kind of passive-aggressive signals to other leftists, other Democrats, that this kind of violence is okay, because that's what they're doing. The fact that they are reluctant to make a firm condemnation in saying the assassination of Charlie Kirk is wrong, full stop. The fact that they can't do that is problematic, and we need to let them know we do not support that. Respectfully, peacefully, show up.